Welcome to the Rustic Garden Homestead. Today I want to show you how to quickly plant up your vertical tower. This is a GreenStalk planter. They're actually having a sale now through March 22nd. You can save a lot of money. Check out the link in the video description. I've also put a link in there on how do you set up the soil, fill up the green stalks or your vertical towers. But today I want to really focus on planting the cool weather crops. Started planting the top tier about 10 to 14 days ago. Also in the bottom I put in some peas. I'll go over that with you as we plant. These are all seed starts that I started indoors. Up top we have some broccoli, then we have spinach, that's a red sales lettuce, sorrel, some carnations. If I have room I like to put flowers in there too, kale, collards, and some Swiss chard. So this is really going to be a leafy green tower. All these plants can take a frost. In a couple of days it's going to get down to 28 degrees here. It's going to be below freezing. That's okay. I thought about waiting, but I know that these plants can take that frost, can take that freeze, so they're going to be perfectly fine. Just wanted to cut in real quick. Today we're going to plant up this 5-tier GreenStalk tower, 6 pockets per. It's going to look like this when we're done. About 10 days ago, 14 days ago, I put in some celery, some dwarf kale, some endive, and then I just rotated around. There are 6 pockets per planter, and you want to keep in mind how big the plants are going to be. So, like, I wouldn't want to put 6 broccoli in here because they're going to get massive and they're going to use up the root system. But I have 3 kale plants, some celery, some endive. They're all managed well in this very large pocket. You can also see, even though that it's been cold, this is a stray sunflower seed that seeded itself last year that's coming up. And just real quick too, I basically just filled the pockets back up, handful of organic granular got thrown in there, loosened it all up. So the strategy here is the leafy greens that aren't going to get really big and flop over go up top because they're going to come up to about here. They'll support themselves because they don't get large, and it's going to allow sunlight to get in here. You wouldn't want to put your peas up here because they're going to flop down, and it would also be a pain to trellis them upwards. So down on the bottom, about 14 days ago, I put in peas, 3 peas per pocket all the way around. That's 18 pea plants, and you do want to support them. So you're going to have to trellis them in some capacity. I'm just going to start with a basic short bamboo pole, and I'm going to put in 2 per pocket, and I'm just going to work them up this way. As I come to here, I will have some plants they can actually grow on, or I'll put in another bamboo pole. So the peas are going to work their way upward. They're pretty thin, so they're not going to shade out the rest of the plants, but I want to be aware of what I plant here, just so again it doesn't interfere with the growth. You have to have some plan, some strategy. So the peas I usually like to put in the bottom and just kind of work their way up. So kind of stepping back, you can see that in the other towers, mostly strawberries, they're all doing really, really well. Let me drop the different plants in here, and then we'll just talk about the design, and then I'll show you a basic plant. One thing to keep in mind is your transplants are really small. You don't need to plant everything into the tower. You want to plant what you're going to be able to eat. I don't really need 3 or 4 collard greens in there. They're going to get large. I'm not going to eat them. So if I'm growing oversized plants in here I'm not harvesting them, and there's a greater chance for pests and disease to roll in. So really plant what you need. So first thing that I dropped in was 1 broccoli plant. I only recommend 1, 2 at the most broccoli or cauliflower plants per tier. 1 collard green because they get massive. Same thing with the kale plant, except in my case I'm growing dwarf Siberian kale, so I will put 2 in. So I have a broccoli right there. We have another broccoli plant, and then we have a dwarf kale right in there, and then a dwarf kale up around the other side there. I'll show them all to you. I want to get these in pretty quick. You don't want to let these sit out here, let the root system dry out. And planting is pretty straightforward. You're just going to dig a pocket. I just press it to the side. Take the root ball. We're going to water these in when we're done with a water-soluble fertilizer. Just scratch it gently. Drop it into the pocket. Fill around it. And then gently press it in. That's all you need to do to get your plants in place. Let me get these in. We'll go to planting a few more different varieties. I'm adding to this tier Swiss chard, which also gets large. So I have a large plant 1, got my second large plant planted up. That's the broccoli. I only recommend, 2 plants to get large. So in the other pockets, that's a red leaf lettuce, shallow roots, smaller plant, coming around, another red leaf, and then this is a dwarf kale. So this tier is planted up. And again, all you're doing is you just make a hole, raise the soil, and then you just drop it in and just fill from the side. Just move the dirt in, press it down. That's all you have to do. It's ready to go except for watering it in. So that's one tier done. Again, remember, one large broccoli. On the other side we have Swiss chard. Those are going to be the big root systems. And then we have in 3 lettuces and a smaller kale. Perfect for a cool weather crop tier in a GreenStalk tower. Now I'm working my way down to the 3rd tier. Going to add sorrel. That's kind of a tart herb that you can use in salads. And that's just going to go right into this pocket. And I always say if I can do this one-handed, loosen up the roots a little bit, you can certainly do this with 2 hands. Just drop it in, backfill, and just press everything in. Added a spinach. So I have sorrel's a little bit bigger. I have a broccoli, a sorrel in there. Let's just say they're my 2 larger plants. Then just a basic spinach plant, another spinach plant. The kale was already put in just a bit ago. And then around here, some more bib lettuce or red sail lettuce. So it's coming together nicely. I have 3 tiers filled already. And the question is, do I need to add more at this point? This is going to be a lot of leafy greens. I think I have 5 dwarf kale plants, a collard, 2 broccoli, sorrel, lettuce, spinach. It's shaping up nicely. Let me just take care of what I have left to put in there. I'm really sticking with my plan this year to not overplant. I have plenty of broccoli and collards left that I could fill in the extra pockets. I'm leaving 3 open. Who knows what I might find over the next couple of weeks to squeeze into there. Maybe I want to put in some pepper plants when it gets warmer. I don't have to plant everything up. This is well planted for plenty of leafy greens. I just want to show you down in the bottom, took 2, these were I think 2-foot bamboo posts. You can buy them for like 24 for a couple of bucks at Home Depot is where I got mine. 2 posts per pocket for the peas. I have 3 peas in each pocket. That's what I recommend. Peas will do extremely well in this. Going up to the next level, we have the first broccoli plant I put in. You may need to support it depending if maybe your transplants are a little bit leggy. These aren't really established. They were growing inside. Maybe they have some twisted stalks at the bottom. You can go ahead and just tie them along a post. That will support them. Then I threw in a carnation. That's a red carnation because I'd like having color mixed in here. And then every other pocket is open. So I have 3 open pockets. That could be for anything down the line. Some more carnations. And you can see what this tower is going to look like. Full sun coming from this end. Plenty of greens to make a salad. Have the broccoli in there. And I actually decided I'm going to put in some onions into these pockets. Now the onions aren't going to get to full size. In fact, let me get those. Let me put those in now. That's going to be a perfect addition to the salads that I make out of here. Now for the onions, they're not going to get to full size, but you will actually get some bulbs out of this. But I'm really growing it for the greenery. You can put in 4, maybe 5 onion sets, onion bulbs into there. Just set them up like that, press them down, really just about 1 inch. The tops can almost be poking out. I've got 4 per, so I had 3 pockets left. That's 12 onions in here, but that's going to give me a lot of green growth that I can chop up, add to my salads. Next thing I want to show you is the watering. Of course, you want to water it in, but first water-soluble fertilizer, whatever you want to use. I recommend Agro Thrive, and you want it to be a good drink. Something like that. You really want to get the plants nitrogen. Most of your leafy greens are water and leaves. They love the nitrogen, and that's going to set them up nicely. You could water these again with another water soluble, maybe in about 4 weeks. When they're larger, maybe every 2 weeks to 3 weeks, you want to give them some water soluble fertilizer. Now the general idea was we put 2 larger plants per pocket. You can certainly do more, but when they're tiny, they're easy to manage. When they get the full size and it gets warmer, the plants really just suck the nitrogen nutrients and the water out of these, so you have to be able to stay up on the watering. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. And if you're interested in vertical towers, I recommend GreenStalk. You can find them in the video description. They have a really good sale going on right now to March 26th, I believe. And please subscribe. I need some help getting to 750,000 YouTube subscribers. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great week.